Have you ever walked into a room and could just feel the tension even though nothing is being said? Maybe there was a great divide, or maybe there were some arms crossed, maybe there was even some furrows of the brow, or maybe it could have just been in the way that they were standing. Either way, no matter what, we are always communicating, even if it is through our nonverbal communication cues. Nonverbal communication is the type of messages and response humans portray without actually having to speak or actually having to use our words. There are several reasons why nonverbal communication is important, and it can often be used subconsciously. Now let's dive into the world of nonverbal communications where something as simple as a gesture can get the word across. There are many ways we subconsciously use nonverbal communication when we speak to someone. We don't always have to use verbal communication to get the point across. Nonverbal communication is communication that can often convey more than our words. Gamble, the writer of the Communication Playbook, actually states that even in one conversation between two people, 65% of it is through nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication can be our facial expressions, how we speak to others, how we hold ourselves, or even how we smell. Dr. Siegel has stated that no matter what we are doing, we are always putting off some sort of nonverbal communication cue. And as much as someone may say that they only go off of what you're saying or how you really are on the inside, in reality, that's not true. They are always taking a piece of your nonverbal communication. A good example of this would be a candidate that goes for a job interview. Maybe both candidates are equally as qualified for the job. But let's say one candidate walks in with a smile on their face and they look like they put effort into what they're wearing. And then there's another candidate who maybe doesn't have a smile or maybe doesn't look like they cared about what they dressed. Most likely, the first candidate who has a smile on their face and is ready to go would get the job because of their nonverbal communication, even though both candidates were equally as qualified. Now that we understand what nonverbal communication is, we can discuss how it can be purposeful and accidental. When it comes to nonverbal communication, sometimes we do it subconsciously, and other times it can be purposeful. Usually, depending on the way that we portray it, it usually has different meanings to every person. It is often easy to use conscious nonverbal communication when we are speaking. An example of this would be if you're really excited about a topic and you have a smile on your face and you're really speaking with your hands. Dr. Jason Jones has stated that there are also times where we subconsciously use nonverbal communication when we're not trying to. Something as simple as our eye gaze or staring. Have you ever been told that staring's rude? Sometimes it can just be subconscious. Also, have you ever been told that your face maybe doesn't match what you're saying? That is a prime example of your nonverbal communication cues speaking over your actual verbal communication. An example of this would be maybe you're at a restaurant and you see someone across the way. Their face is tight and their brows are furrowed and they're looking at the menu. Maybe you think, oh, they do not like anything that's on the menu, when in reality, if you just ask them, maybe they just couldn't see the menu very well. All in all, we are always using nonverbal communication to speak, even if we don't realize it. In summary, nonverbal communication are the things that we don't directly say, such as our body language or facial expressions. By better being able to understand what nonverbal communication is and how we use nonverbal communication, it can help us connect better and improve our connection with the world around us and our peers.